guys, it is Annelies. Welcome to 2018. 2017 was a year to say the least. It was crazy, insane, a lot of terrible things happened, and it seemed like 2017 tried to destroy us all. Even though my gut reaction is to say 2017 is the worst year of my life of ever, I can't really say that because a lot of great things happened this year. Yes, there were a lot of bad things, and there were a lot of sad times, and a lot of tears. More than I'd like to say happened, but it happened. But 2017 also had a lot of crazy memories, amazing moments, and things that have changed my life forever for the good. I've been seeing a lot of 2017 in review videos, and so I've been compiling for the past couple of days my year, and I'd like to share it with you now. So here is my 2017 year in review. So I said 2017 sucked a lot, and it sucked starting on day one for me personally, is when my dog Daisy passed away. She was 11 years old, and she passed away at about 4 o'clock in the morning. She was our little cuddle bug that was filled with so much light. She was the perfect snuggle buddy, our little teddy bear as we called her. She had been kind of sick, and she had to leave us that morning, and it started the year off on the wrong foot for sure, and it sucks, and I miss her every day. But moving over from the sad things, as January continued, I started rehearsals for Cabaret, which if you guys follow my channel, you know that I was already in a production of Cabaret. And something that I kind of shared through my rooms was that we got selected as one of the featured shows at the American College Theater Festival to show in February of 2017 at the American College Theater Festival. A few people left the show, some things had to change because we were going into a smaller stage, and we had to take the whole set and everything of the show from Sacramento to Denver, Colorado. So we had to rebuild a little bit, and we started rehearsals, which was a blast. Also in January, I did my very first voice work. It was unpaid, it was for an art show in Sacramento that I never got to see, but it was still an experience I had. Following that, we had my wonderful mom's birthday, which is always a fun time to celebrate with one of the most important people in my life. Then we had auditions for the post-stratagem and callbacks that lasted until 2 a.m. I was one of the 2 girls left standing by the end of the night. And then January ended with my first Disney audition. My best friend and I drove down to Anaheim, had an audition. We got there at 7 a.m. It didn't start till 9. We were in and out in about 5 minutes, got kicked out the first round. So in my timeline of things, I don't know if this happened on the last day of January or the first couple of days of February, but I got the phone call that I got the lead women's role in the Beau Stratagem, which was my first lead role. I played Mrs. Sullen in this show by George Farquhar, and it's like a restoration comedy, and it was one of the best days of my life getting that phone call. And the thing is, that day, I still didn't even understand what role I had, because I hadn't read the play yet. I knew that it was a big character, but I didn't understand how big. We then started tech rehearsal for Cabaret because we were going to put on a gala before we went to Denver to make some money. That was a crazy experience on its own. The Patriots won the Super Bowl 51, and I can tell you, I was already at that point in my year that I needed that Super Bowl win. I needed it, and I couldn't have been happier. And then we had the Cabaret Gala. This was an event that we sold tickets to in advance. There was raffles, there was going to be a dinner afterward. We were putting on our show and kind of running it the way that we were going to have to run it once we take it to the festival. We built the set that morning, performed, and then we were gonna take down the set. We kind of did, and then they just sent us home. And then a couple days later, we went to Denver, Colorado to the American College Theater Festival. We're in Region 7, and we performed on the Wednesday of that week. It's a week-long festival, and it was insanity. My ACTF was not only crazy because I was in that show, but I was also a partner for the Irene Ryan Scholarship Competition. I was in a directing scene, so the directing scene is there's a student director that directs a short, like 5-minute piece and then puts it on at the festival. I was in that for the first time, trying to attend workshops and just explore the city. It was a lot. So the Wednesday that Cabaret is we got there at 6 a.m. I got there at about 6 a.m. I believe it was. We had one show at 1 p.m., another show at 7 p.m., and then after the show was over, we had to tear down the set, and then I was left standing with, I think it was one other girl and 4 other guys, and then one of our teachers and the 2 tech big building guys who always build the sets, and it was about 3 a.m.
How much?
Very nice.
Very nice.
That baby's 11 years old now. this have been as funny 12 hours
We did
ago?
it.
We were all...
We did it. We did it. We did it. We made it. How you feel?
All done.
Performing 2 shows, building a set, taking it down. It was an experience of a lifetime. The fact that I can say that I was in a touring production of a show was mind-blowing. The last day of ACTF, there was a drag show around the corner from our hotel where I got to see Willem Belly perform, which was exciting because that was my first professional drag show. After we got back from Denver, we started rehearsals for the Bow Stratagem, and we had our first read-through. And then one of my favorite movies of ever, the Lego Batman movie, came out, and I gotta see it, and I almost fell asleep in the theater because I was so exhausted from rehearsals. March got off to a very great start where I participated in my very first photo call. At my school, what we do is a publicity photo call for any theater show that we do. And that normally involves taking pictures that are probably going to end up on the poster or that we're going to use for advertisement and publicity. I had never been in a publicity photo shoot before. I was in one earlier in the year, technically, but I was in a sheep costume. So this was the first time that my face was going to be on these publicity photos. I was so excited. The pictures turned out great, and I have never felt more beautiful than the day I got dressed so haphazardly. It was crazy disorganized. They told us that we were going to be wigged, and then we get there and found out, nope, we weren't. I also came extremely unprepared because I didn't even bring the right shoes or wear the right bra, which I was a mess. Everybody was a mess, and the pictures turned out so beautiful, and I still don't understand how it worked out so great. It was a crazy experience, but it was one of my favorite memories. March was also the month that I started what seemed to be a trend that will continue forever, is modeling for my best friend who's a photographer. I'll leave her website in the description, but it's also emilypowers.com, or you can find her on Instagram at emily.powers. During the semester of school, I was part of the costume construction class, and I made my very first piece of clothing from scratch. Followed the instructions on the pattern, sewed it all together, and it turned out pretty good. April started with the final rehearsals of Bow Stratagem, which was a very stressful time. I had a super crazy schedule, and then on top of that, we started tech rehearsal for the Bow Stratagem. Being somebody who was on stage more than 50% of the time, I think, the days were very, very long, but very rewarding. That week, I also got to meet my second nephew. Then we opened Bow Stratagem! It went off without a hitch. The first night, I was more nervous than I expected, because I normally don't get nervous during shows, but there was one professor in particular who was in the back of the audience that I somehow saw the second I came on stage, and I wasn't expecting her to be there that first day, so it wigged me out a little bit. But the show went great. We had an amazing run. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. Being Mrs. Solon was an opportunity that I absolutely adored and cherish so much to this day. The costume was beautiful. I felt like a queen. The set was gorgeous, and my cast was wonderful. We closed Bow Stratagem, and on closing night, I found out that I was one of the Irene Ryan Scholarship nominees for that show. The Irene Ryan Scholarship Competition is something that happens every year at the American College Theater Festival. I've been a partner for it 3 times. It's a cutthroat competition. I got through to the second round the first time I partnered with my friend Walisha, and we are the only team out of the past 4 years at my school that has made it to round 2. So my hope with this opportunity is that I'm gonna go all the way. It is something I've looked forward to for 4+ years, to have the opportunity to be nominated and then get the nomination, and that was also one of the best nights of my life. Being able to call my mom and tell her that I got the Ryan nomination and hearing her excitement on the phone, it's a memory I'll cherish forever. I have an excellent partner, my friend Spencer, who I know we work well together, and we're going to perform great, we're going to do amazing, and we're going to win the competition. May began with taking my graduation pictures, because I was graduating with my first college degree. Something that happened in March, I should have mentioned, is I thought I was going to be graduating that semester with 3 degrees. My associate's degree for transfer, my associate's degree in theater acting, and my associate's degree in technical theater. So I found out in March that not only did I submit my graduation application late, and that this degree would post in the summer, but that I wasn't going to be graduating with the 3 degrees that I thought. And I needed to take 4 more classes to go off of ARC's GE credits. I was angry, I was furious, but I said, you know what, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to walk, and yes, I do have 1 more year here, but I'm gonna do this as if I was graduating as I intended. So I did. I graduated in May with my associate's degree for transfer for theater arts, and it was a wonderful experience. I took my first solo flight to Idaho, where I was was going to spend the week with my high school best friend and also be the maid of honor in her wedding / wedding photographer, which I didn't know until I was gonna get there, that I was also the wedding photographer, which was an experience on its own. And in the middle of May, I was also elected the Theater Arts Club president for the second time in a row. June began with my very first hiking experience. I got my very first business cards and, I guess you could say, business stickers in the mail. Cars 3 came out and my mom and I went to go see it, and it was something I had been waiting for I don't even know how long. And then my mom and I made the journey down to Anaheim for not only just to go to Disneyland, but to go to VidCon 2017. While we were in Disneyland, we had a lot of firsts. My mom got her very first annual pass and I got mine renewed. I had my first Disney pickle. I also did my first Disney band with my mom. I was Daisy Duck and she was Donald Duck, her favorite. My mom went on Radiator Springs Racers for the first time, which made for a very excellent picture. My mom also took her first trip on the world famous Jungle Cruise. I finally went on the famous Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, as well as Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. And I can say I don't think I'm gonna be going on those again. And we also visited the Enchanted Tiki Room, which, once again, don't think I'll be going back there anytime soon. VidCon started off great with YouTube on stage, where I got to see Jason Derulo live for free, which was amazing. VidCon was spectacular. I got to meet Michael Stevens of Vsauce, and I can't remember what they were called, but they were like chat sessions. I put my name in a raffle for a chat session with him, and then I got it. And so I had a set day that me and 6 other content creators got to go into this boardroom and chat with Michael Stevens and ask him questions. He asked us questions, we just got to chat. It was great, and Michael Stevens is such a cool, down-to-earth guy. I took a ton of workshops that were very educational. There was some VidCon craziness, but what is a VidCon without the crazy? Back at Disneyland, I finally started pin trading. I had some more Disney fun with some old friends and new. June ended with some fun things like finally visiting the Castro of San Francisco and Dolores Park, which is a place I'd always wanted to go. And then June ended on the last day of June with auditions for the fall musical at my school, which was Beauty and the Beast. July started off with callbacks for that show. Then there was 4th of July fireworks and more photo shoots. As July went on, I got the call that I got cast in Beauty and the Beast as a silly girl and as an ensemble member. And a silly girl is the biggest role that I've ever had in a musical. The second biggest was Texas in Cabaret, but I didn't nearly have as many lines as I did in Beauty and the Beast. It was one of my top roles and I'm really excited that I got it. Then I had my 22nd birthday, which I celebrated in Monterey at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which I hadn't visited in years, with my best friend Emily. And then my favorite time of year, the state fair. I love the state fair. At the fair, we had some more photo shoots. I then went to the Apple mothership with one of my friends and we had a lunch in their world famous Cafe Max. Their pizza is awesome. And then I had a Sunsplash send-off for my friend Jazz, who moved to New York. And then Emily and I saw Good Charlotte for free at the state fair, which was the first time that I had ever seen them in concert. August started off right away with a lot more vet trips for my 2 puppies. We had our first read-through for Beauty and the Beast, and we started rehearsals. In August, I also got my iPad Pro 10.5 inch. And right in the middle of August, I quit my job of 4 years, which was such a relief that I had been wanting to do for a long while. And with the support of my mom, I was able to finally do it. And I can say with certainty, I have been so much happier since that day. I started my last year at American River College, which is the college I go to. I'll be graduating at the end of this year with 3 degrees. At the end of this year, I will have gotten hotter by 4 degrees. Yep, that's right. I'll be leaving my school with 4 associate's degrees. In August, we also got an award from the American College Theater Festival for Cabaret, and it was the KCACTF Citizen Artist Award for insisting that the theatrical production is central to the urgent community, national and international conversations on the campuses of higher education nationwide, which was a huge honor. A nationally recognized award for a production that I was in was unreal. I also got an award from the Annelies, which is a local theater award thing in my town. I got an honorable mention as a leading female in a comedy, as well as the production that I assistant directed, The Shepherd's Play, with one of my professors, Sam Williams, got an honorable mention for the production as a whole in a comedy, as well as direction, which was really exciting because being somebody who was a part of the creative process and to be recognized and awarded with an honorable mention was really cool. In August, we also had more photo shoots. I got my headshots done. And then we had photo call for Beauty and the Beast, which would be the second time that I was in a photo call. August is when the semester started, and September is when I found out that I could graduate after all. Thanks to my wanting to get my degree after I found out I wasn't gonna get a degree and all that fun stuff, I processed my degree, which was an associate's degree for transfer, but turns out through my college, it's recognized as still an associate's degree, and if you have an associate's degree, that voids your needing of any of their GE required classes to get your school AAs. And long story short, I was able to drop 4 classes. So last semester was a lot more chill than I was expecting. So I went into the counselors this morning to try to get my financial aid situation figured out. And it turns out I don't need to take the classes I was told I needed to take, which is why I was going in for financial aid, and I can actually already graduate, and I just submitted my graduation petition for my acting degree. So, I was enrolled in either 19 or 20 units and I went down to 10, and it was such a relief. I got my first turkey in bowling, which I've been bowling since I was, 8 or 9 years old, and so the fact that I finally got a turkey was such a big moment in my life. I did more photo shoots, except this time as a fake couple. It was Lightning McQueen Day.
Hey guys, do you know what day it is?
It's Lightning McQueen Day! Happy Lightning McQueen Day! It's got my Lightning McQueen, got my Lightning McQueen, I got the red and the lipstick, and then the bone that I made is Lightning McQueen. Happy Lightning McQueen Day. It was iPhone launch. I didn't get a new iPhone, but that day is always exciting for an Apple tech nerd such as myself. So then my mom and I went to Disneyland for a second time that year, but this time it was during Halloween. It was right in the beginning of the Halloween season at Disneyland, and neither of us had ever been to Disneyland during that time, and it was so much fun. This was also the first year that Disney California Adventure had been decorated for Halloween, and being able to see Mater as a vampire, vampires, think what they called it, and then Lightning McQueen was dressed up as a superhero, and Cruz Ramirez was a pirate of the Caribbean. So fun. It was so fun to be able to see all the decorations, spend time with my mom in Disneyland, and take pictures in front of that classic Mickey pumpkin. We also finally saw Frozen live at the Hyperion Theater in Disney California Adventure, and it was spectacular. I went to my very first Renaissance fair with friends, and it was quite an experience. And then I got my certificate in the mail for my associate's degree. October began with the publication of the school paper that I was in advertising Beauty and the Beast. We then had Beauty and the Beast tech rehearsals, and then we opened the show. It was spectacular, things went great. Tech week was extremely stressful, I was the dance captain, and that show is such a big dance show. Be Our Guest is an 8-minute number, folks. 8 minutes of singing and dancing. You're pretty much just running and screaming for 8 minutes, and it was a blast. And then I got my degree in the mail, which to be able to hold a college degree that had my name on it was such a cool feeling. Some friends and I went to a pumpkin patch, once again took more pictures. We closed Beauty and the Beast. I also found out in October that I was going to be in a published play. I'll let my past self explain here. So I just got some very exciting news. So Skeleton Stories, which was a show that I was in like a year and a half ago, it's like this small play, is finally getting published. But wait, that's not even the best part. So Skeleton Stories is getting published, and in like plays and stuff, when they get published, in the front it has the names of the characters and then who originally played that character, like who was the first actor to ever play that character. The coolest thing is that in Skeleton Stories, from the original time it was produced and put on, which was in 2012, and then we did it in 2016 or 15, I can't remember now, I think it was 2015, but besides the fact, there was a scene that was added that
I performed in for the first time. So, do you know what that means? It means my name's gonna be in a published play because I was the first actor to play that character. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
October ended with me being an extra in my first film, which was a long experience. I think I was there for 8 to 10 hours. So when that comes out, I'll tell you guys and you can look for me. And then for Halloween, I had a pretty awesome costume.
Prepare to be amazed!
November started with swing dancing with friends. My mom and I redecorated and painted my room, which gave you this beautiful gray color, and my pictures are still net back on my wall, so I need to work on that. And then the second hardest day of my life came in this year, which was November 10th, which is when my dog Shelby passed away. Shelby was my first dog in my conscious human remembrance. I had a dog when I was a baby, but they passed away before I was old enough to remember. But Shelby was the dog I remember going to pick up. Dog was such a little princess. She was our little bunny rabbit, our little snowball. She always pranced around the house. When I was younger, she'd always sit like right there on my bed and always find a way to make a spot on the pillow, like right on top of my head, which was inconvenient, but I always loved having her there. That dog was so sweet, but she had a piercing bark, and we called her our doorbell because she would sit up there, hear somebody come at the door, bark her little head off, but never get up to go answer it. I know, how rude. So to move on to something a little bit sillier, my mom, Emily, and I went to go see a production of Annie, and it was the worst show I've ever seen in my life. None of us had ever walked out of a show before.
This is a first. This is all of our first time leaving a show at intermission. We couldn't do it.
But we did with this one. There's a first time for everything. In November, I got a Series 3 Apple Watch, which I absolutely love, and then my mom inherited my very first generation Apple Watch, which she absolutely loves too. On Thanksgiving, we drove 2 hours to Fairfield to go to a hometown buffet and have our Thanksgiving dinner, which was worth the drive. And guess what happened in November? We did another photo shoot with more amazing pictures because Emily is such a great photographer, and I got some more headshots and they all turned out great. I also applied to 9 schools to transfer to get my bachelor's degree in theater arts. So wish me luck on that. In November, we set up the Christmas tree, I decorated it, and it began the holiday season in the Veldman house, which is one of my favorite times of year. And then I got this new awesome lens on Cyber Monday, and I've absolutely loved it, and it was my first purchase made from my YouTube revenue. Then rounding out the year in December started with the last time I will ever play Winnie the Pooh at my local theater for the children's show. I think it's time for me personally to hang up the big red shirt and the big belly. I did my first real techie thing. I had my directing debut, and the show I directed was Note to Self by Haley Hicks Jr. It's a weird show, we did some weird stuff with it, I had 2 amazing actors, and it was a blast. And I think it went great, and I got a lot of compliments on it, so that felt really nice. I had a fun blast from my cheer past.
So like, we got to beat them. Go fight, win, go fight, win, go fight.
I started a podcast. We had our Beauty and the Beast cast party where we got to rewatch the show that they record for us and see a lot of things that being the person on stage you don't necessarily get to see, and it was crazy. I then had a Christmas party with some of my friends. I was super sick for like 4 days, the worst I had been in probably like 4 years. I was knocking on death's door. Right before Christmas, not too much fun. But on Christmas Eve, my mom and I went to go see Aladdin the musical. It was a gift I had gifted for her for Father's Day to go see Aladdin, VIP orchestra seats. It was such an amazing experience. It was her first time seeing a professional show. I'm so glad that I was able to give that gift to her, and she really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Aladdin is one of my favorite musicals. It was the first time I got to see it. Genie is my dream role. Top of the list everything. So maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to put on that blue costume and take everybody on a journey to Agrabah. And then guess where we went? Disneyland. We were there from the 26th to the 30th. It was insanity. The first official day we were there, which was the 27th, it was so insanely busy. We left at about 12:30, and then right around 1, there was a power outage. And it was all over the news, but apparently the 27th was expected to be one of the most busiest days of the year. And I can say with certainty, yes it was. It was like a sardine can on Main Street. It was the last time I saw Paradise Pier, because it's going away on January 8th. In the meantime, I got some really cool pictures. I stepped up my Instagram photography a little bit, got some artsy fartsy pictures, and just had a really great time with my mom. Taking pictures in front of the Christmas tree, seeing Mater with a Santa hat on. The holidays at Disneyland are so much fun. Then the year ended with New Year's Eve, once again my least favorite day of the year, but I got to spend the evening with some friends, drink some apple cider, and then make my way home and hit the hay. And guys, that was my 2017 year in review. I hope you enjoyed going on this journey with me as a review of this year, reliving some of those memories, seeing the pictures, seeing the video. It was crazy to write it all down just on, these, 10 pieces of note paper and say that my year has fit into this, but it's really just more than these pieces of paper. These are some of the highlights, but there are so many other memories I created from this year that were really great. Spending time with friends, having experiences at Disneyland, through theater, having a lot of firsts this year was a really cool thing to be able to say I had. So something I've been saying a lot, these past couple of weeks as New Year's was approaching us and now in the new year, is that 2017 had a lot of dark times, but it also had a lot of light, and the times that you spend in the dark make you appreciate the light so much more. And I think that is a good sum up for the year of 2017, because all those light, bright, wonderful moments I had, I appreciated so much. So I wanted to end this video by saying thank you to anybody and everybody who helped make my 2017 awesome. All my friends that I hold so dear, my mom, my support system, my subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me throughout this year. Thank you to all my friends that I have in my close, proximity in my life, because you helped me make so many fabulous memories that I'll cherish forever. And to my mom, who is my rock, my support system, the person who means the most in this world to me, thank you for being there through everything through this year. Coming to all of my shows, supporting me in and out through anything I want to do with my career, with my life, with my school, with anything. I owe so much to you. So thank you, I love you. If you stuck around to watch this video, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. This was really nice for me to kind of go back and reflect on this year and remember some of the times I had. If you enjoyed a video like this and you want to see this next year, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below some of your favorite memories from this year, because I'd really like to hear about you and how your year went. I hope it was great. For 2018, I hope you have an even better year than your 2017 was. A lot more light moments than the dark. Let's leave all of the crap and bad stuff and bad juju and all that stuff in 2017, lock it up and throw away the key, and let's make 2018 the best year of our lives. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Here's to 2018 to be the best. Stay beautiful, have a marvelous day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!